My name is Caroline Bodneck. Thank you very much for having me, Amina. I'm very excited and honored to be here and to be part of this panel. So this afternoon, I'll be talking to you about being a young leader, as Deji said, and defying self-limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome. So as a little bit about myself, I'm Kenyan by background, and I migrated to Germany. And later on, I decided to follow my dream of studying nursing in the UK. So I am going to just tell my story. So there are no slides. Just pay attention, and I'm sure you'll be able to relate and enjoy. So how did I find myself on this panel? When Amina first approached me 2 years ago, when she was looking for people to participate in her PhD, I was happy to help. As part of my purpose, I like bringing the best out the best in others, and I was glad to help. So I said yes. However, when it came to actually speaking today, she sent me a message and I said, who, me? Speak where? And I actually left my phone and I went back to the ward. As Deji said, I am a practice educator, so my work and my passion is to teach. And that way I bring out the best in others, amongst many other ways. So just to cover what I do, for those who are not familiar with the term practice educator. So we do clinical teaching, and I'm honored to actually say this, that I am the youngest practice educator that the unit has, and I have been working alongside people who have as much as so many years of experience. So one of them has just retired last year, October, and she has practiced for 40 years. I'm not 40 yet. So you can imagine the humility that I have had to work alongside those very experienced healthcare professionals and be able to share my expertise with some of my colleagues and new starters who are coming to the unit, as well as learn and have the humility to acknowledge where I need to learn to progress to some of the places that I'd like to get to. So what is the imposter syndrome? So it's one of the self-limiting beliefs that we have. It's the inability to accept that some of the places that we have gotten to are deserved. It's as the example that I've given of myself. When I was invited to come and speak here by Amina, I'm asking, who, me? Because I'm thinking there are other people that are more eligible to speak in conferences such as this one more than I am. And, those things are things that are sometimes deeply rooted in psychology. Some of the things that you need, you and I need to look into ourselves and say, if this is something that is deeply rooted, then I need to deal with that. I need to deal with that so that I can able to overcome that and move forward and say, is it fear? So we'll look at some of the self-limiting beliefs that stop us from actually moving forward and potentially meeting our purpose or going into spaces and places that we actually deserve, because we deserve, as immigrant women, we deserve to sit, in the corner office, in the best seats. We need to be out there looking after ourselves, working in areas that we are passionate about. And just a little bit about myself with teaching. When I was in secondary school in Kenya, I used to just enjoy teaching. I come from a family of teachers. My grandparents, both my grandparents are teachers, and aunties. And I personally used to say, I never want to teach, but my grandmother actually laughed when I said I've actually become a teacher. So, it's something that is that I thoroughly enjoy, and it comes naturally to me. If I know something, I will teach you if you want to learn from me. And this is something, so when we're talking about self-limiting beliefs, what is it that when things become magnified to a place where we're getting better paid, we have a better opportunities, we have better working hours, we limit ourselves just because we don't see ourselves there. So we look into some of those self-limiting beliefs that stop us from actually going into those places. So what are they? Self-limiting beliefs are the negative perceptions. Those negative perceptions about oneself. And I'll just give some of the examples that can stop us from, as immigrant women, from leading in spaces that we are entitled to, and rightfully so, because we're good at it. I can talk all day, I can teach all day, but when it comes to hearing, or you are going to speak to us, to a certain group of people, I then start thinking, okay, no, not me. Surely you can't be talking about me. Move on to the next person because they'll be better. But in actual sense, I have the qualifications. I do this every day. I talk every day. I get paid to talk, and I thoroughly enjoy, because if I know something, I'll teach it for free. And that's part of my purpose, which I am very comfortable doing. So we have to look at some of these negative perceptions that we associate, and they limit us to reach those leadership groups and leadership spaces that we need to be sitting at. And I'll just give us a few examples. Some of them are, I'm not good enough. I do not deserve that promotion. I need to be perfect to be able to do that job. I can tell you for sure, in 2019, when I started this job, and I had been working in this particular area in Renal since 2013, I did not have the expertise that I have gained now in the last 2 years. And it's because I said, yes, I'm not perfect enough to do the job yet, but I know I can teach, and I'm humble enough to learn. So we need to get to the place where we acknowledge where we are at and what we already have. So, and with that, bearing that in mind, we then move on to the places where we actually deserve to be at. So all the other things are, all the bosses are not good. And that's not true. One of the things that I tend to encourage, because this kind of conversation have, or comments that I've received from colleagues have made me end up in really, really interesting conversations with people, whereby when people actually come forward and say, oh, I'm not going to apply for that job because they already know who they want. I sometimes was part of the panel, and I advocate for fairness and equality, and I want those diverse, the diversity of people who have the skills and they come and interview well. By all means, it doesn't matter where you're from, I will give you the job. But having those conversations from colleagues that I've worked with for many, many years have actually made me realize we limit ourselves. And with that, this is just to encourage somebody to go for those jobs if you know that you have the, you want to go for the jobs. And if you do not qualify for those jobs and you want to get there, what are you doing in order to get to those places? So some of the other similar examples are, for example, not being from, let's say, for example, for those who actually gather their courage to go for those interviews, they end up being interviewed and they don't get a job. I have had, some of the feedback that I have received is that, oh, I don't want to hear it. But not knowing that some of the errors that they keep repeating when they go for interviews are actually the things that don't don't allow them to actually get into those jobs that they want. So some of the tips that I personally would give would be, go back and get first of all, familiarize yourself with the job description for the job that you are applying. And then if there's a course that you need to do, go and do the course. Position yourself to win, because you are in this, you're a powerful woman, you want to win and you deserve to win. But what are you doing? You need to be proactive. You need to take power into your hands, and you need to say, okay, I want to get this job. How can I get there? Sometimes it's doing the lateral movement. So in my case, what I did, I looked at the job that I wanted, and it took a few years. And within those years, I went back to the university and I self-funded, because the courses that I wanted to do were not fun. I've obviously looked at the funding that we can have from the local area, but it wasn't available for people who wanted to do something that is outside that area. I don't know whether that makes sense. So if you're looking into studying in an area that is outside your current clinical area, then you will need to either fund it yourself or find a scholarship, which I couldn't. So I self-funded. So we all need to be proactive in finding ways to fund the dream that we're chasing. So, and the other thing is, there are ways and there are funds. For example, now that I'm in education, there are people and resources. It's not everybody that you go to is negative, that is not supportive. Find those few people who are. Find those people, and they will support you to reach your dream and to get to where you want to. And sometimes it's just coming out to conferences like these, meeting like-minded people, hearing some of the challenges that people have faced. And also, if you go to an interview and you hear no, and because a lot of people get discouraged and they stop. I can tell you for sure, this is not the first job that I applied and I got a yes. I had many no's. I had people going and trying to manipulate situations so that I do not get the job, discouraging me. And in some places, I felt really discouraged. But what do you do after hearing several no's? You pick up yourself and you try again. We keep telling children, if you fail, and if you do not succeed in something, do what? Try again. But we have double standards when it comes to us, because we then tell ourselves, oh no, I cannot do that again. I cannot face anybody to tell me no again. So I would urge you to continue trying. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on your dreams. And you are worth it and you deserve it. And as a woman, as an immigrant, do not allow anyone to dim your light. There is greatness in each and every one of us. So keep shining in your arena. Thank you very much for having me.